Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 4th episode of Carnival Cruising Podcastaways, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything Carnival Cruising related. My name is Trevor Shelby, and joining me on this cruising adventure is none other than Thomas Kennedy. How you doing, Tom?
Thank you. I'm great. I had that week off, and not by choice, but you know, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. I missed you. I missed you, man.
I missed you too. This show sucked without me.
Oh, wait a minute. It did not. It was a fine show. I actually got multiple reviews that said, wow, your show's so much better now. What changed?
I didn't read any of those comments.
I know. I made them all, though.
Okay.
So, yeah. So glad that you're back. And I'm very sorry about your pinky toe. I'm glad they were able to reattach it.
What?
Was I not supposed to talk about
it? Pinky toe?
Yeah, your pinky toe. You know, the little bitty one.
I know what a pinky toe is. Anyway.
Okay.
So let's talk about last week's episode a little bit. Okay. So I know you said, you know, your highest amount of meals in one day was like 12.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was around there.
But before you started taking your children on, I personally witnessed you do 15.
Oh, well, it might have been higher.
Because we were, me, you, Megan, and your mother-in-law were sharing a cabin. You would order the room service and have coffee and fruit and whatever on the balcony. Then I would get up after you screamed land ho, and you and I would go to the breakfast buffet. Then you would go down and get Megan. You guys would go and have another breakfast buffet. Then you would go have brunch. You go have pizza. You go have snacks they had in the thing, you know, like Ocean View Plaza. You even went to the main dining room before we went to the steakhouse.
Yeah, that was a bad choice.
But you still ate everything in the steakhouse.
Yeah. Well, I had to. It was expensive.
Well, I wouldn't call $38 for a steak of that magnitude.
I know.
Expensive.
That's actually not that bad of a deal. Especially steak prices today. Man, I was at the store.
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh. And so, if those prices are the same, I am all about that.
Yeah, the roast I bought to make French dips tonight was good Lord.
So I tended to err on the side of whatever, and very, very much showed my glutinous side, I guess you'd say. A glutton for punishment.
Gluttonous, not glutinous.
Glutinous. Yeah. I showed off my glutes. But yeah, I don't know. It was both good and bad. I love doing it. I love eating. I love cruise ship food. But also by the end of the day, I was always so miserable. And
dude,
we destroyed that toilet.
with the exception of the fact that we did not actually eat our dessert, we took it to go. I'm surprised you weren't getting sick by the end of that day.
Yeah, we were trashed in many ways. But let's save our steakhouse story for a later time.
Okay. Also, you know, you didn't say your true reaction to the lasagna and the cucina.
Right. So
you cried. You cried. I've been telling him about this lasagna for months, and he didn't believe me. Because this lasagna is not your typical lasagna. This lasagna has roast beef, sausage, you know, a good tomato sauce. You know, it's got a good ricotta cheese. It's awesome. It's amazing. And the man cried when he took his first bite.
It was beautiful.
Literal tears.
It's a really, and I tear up every time I eat it because it's that memory of this is the most awesome lasagna I've ever had in my entire life. I'm also not like I don't go out to eat Italian food ever. So it's just one of those things that it caught me off guard how good it is. Just
And I'm
caught me
not
off
lying
guard.
when I say it has roast beef in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big chunks of roast beef. I love it. Absolutely love it. That was a fun episode. Episode 3 is fun to do. It was kind of, put together through me just talking about food, which is like my favorite thing ever. So that was really easy to do.
I mean, I could put a whole episode on food, because, I'm fat, but you're skinnier than I am, and you've put a hurting on them more than I ever could.
I try. So, let's see, we're going to start off with a little bit of cruise news. And a lot of this is going to be old hat because, this happened around December 30th. And, we're filming this on the 2nd, and this episode won't actually air until the 8th. So, like we said before, don't come to us for up-to-date news. But we wanted to talk about this because it was important. The CDC has put out I guess they got different levels for health concerns for travel. And so we're at a level 4, which is a very high level of COVID-19. And on the little chart it has here, level 4 is the highest. It's like there's a shade of red that's real red below it. This is like a dark red, like you would see like in a zombie film or something, like coagulated blood or something. Anyways, so this is what they put out. And this is all geared towards cruise ships and really not much else. It says avoid cruise travel regardless of vaccination status. Even fully vaccinated travelers may be at risk for getting and spreading COVID-19 variants. The virus that caused COVID-19 spreads easily between people in close quarters of onboard ships. And the chance of getting COVID-19 on a cruise is very high, even if you're fully vaccinated and have received COVID-19 vaccine booster dose. Outbreaks of COVID-19 have been reported on cruise ships. If you travel on a cruise ship, you may make sure you're fully vaccinated before you travel and get a COVID-19 vaccine booster dose, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, lots of words saying don't go on a cruise ship right now because we're at a level 4, very high concern right now.
Well, see, here's the thing. The CDC has got that color coordinated alert thing. If you guys don't know, this is a daily thing that the CDC puts out of, whether a ship's reported anything, and if not, it's color coordinated to green, there's no reported cases, yellow, which can be 1 to however many, which I don't believe there's been more than 6. Yellow means that the CDC is investigating. And then there's red, which means they're going to stop that ship from cruising for a while.
Yeah.
And so they're taking it off of all these yellows, which right now, from the last video I watched from cruisely.com, you can look it up on YouTube. It's called 8 Important Things to Know About the Omicron and Cruises. It was posted 5 hours ago, and I watched it this morning. They don't know the exact numbers because they're not posting the exact numbers. It's just that they're going to put any ship under investigation that reports a case. So it could be 1 to however, but 92 out of 100 and some odd ships are right now in the yellow. None are in the red, and there are, several in the green. But that doesn't tell us how many actual cases they have.
Well, and from what we've kind of learned with Carnival's situation is that they've had a lot of staff that has come down with the virus, but not as many passengers. And when you come to look at it, I mean, how critical is other modes of travel, like, airplanes,
like flying? I mean,
or getting on a train or something like that?
If you're flying, you're like shoulder to shoulder with people.
Yeah.
And the cruise ship industry is not filling up their ships, but the flights are all full.
Yeah. And it's interesting that that all these destinations would rather stop cruise travel, where all these people have been vaccinated and or they've tested negative, for the coronavirus before getting on board the ship, but they're willing to accept somebody jumping on an airplane and just letting them fly in and like walk amongst them. So it doesn't make much
Well,
sense to me.
a lot of these places still have a 2 week quarantine too.
Yeah. Well, and I could kind of understand some of it, but also some of it is just ridiculous, especially this whole CDC thing. I don't agree with it. One thing that I always hate is the news will pick up anything bad with a that's cruise related pretty quick. So they really feed into people's fears about cruise ships. I know people that when I went on my cruise in like October, they were like, "Well, it was nice knowing you. You're gonna die."
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah. I mean,
really? And but they're like that even if I'm getting on a boat. This is before COVID-19. They just hate cruise travel, and that's fine if you don't like it.
it's like it's the same way if you tell certain people, "Hey, I'm going to Chicago." Okay, you're gonna die
Yeah,
because the gun violence in Chicago. I've been to Chicago several times, and it's one of my favorite cities. I am not going to accept the "have fun, you're gonna die" because I'm not dumb.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. You've only been shot at once down there, so
it was
survive.
twice.
Oh,
It was
sorry.
twice. And it was only because I didn't give up my Giordano's pizza.
Yeah, there you go. No, but seriously, the it's perplexing. I don't understand why they've singled out cruises in general. We have all these different events that are going on where people are gathering, in stadiums and going to concerts.
Look at Times Square
Yeah, Times.
on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, you've got all these people that are like, it's over. We could do all this, and the CDC only singles out the cruise industry at this point. So that's enough about vaccinations and CDC.
Let's get on to some fun stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about some fun stuff on some fun ships. So
Woohoo!
last week we talked about, what was it? Or we, as if we were both there.
I was in spirit. I was in. You had a
Yeah.
flat Thomas next to you. I was there in spirit.
Okay. Well, last week we talked about what was it? The food with the cruise director, Ryan Roseed. He mentioned that he likes the big chicken and the steakhouse. That was his favorite foods on board his ship.
Well, technically, that wasn't foods. That was just eateries.
Yeah.
Is he eating everything in the eateries and saying that that's his favorite?
I imagine. And but with the menu though, with big chicken, I could definitely understand that, because it's just chicken served different ways.
Yeah, I could get. I mean, I am all for a chicken, egg, and cheese
I know what
biscuit.
you're talking about. So
yeah, I mean, chicken, egg, and cheese biscuits are my go-to thing. And so if it's half as good as like Chick-fil-A's chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit, whoo, yeah.
Well, I got another response. So I would like to say a big, big thank you to Lee over there on the Panorama. He is a cruise director, and he wanted to let us know that his favorite food is the pot stickers over at Gigi's. And he said he also likes at the deli, the buffalo chicken with cheese and bacon. I think we should go over the menu over at Gigi's, because that is one place that I haven't had a whole lot of experience at.
I mean, we ate there when we were on the Sunshine, but besides I don't remember what I had besides the pork belly that we had as an appetizer. when we went, it was like a last minute thing. On the last day, we decided to go because everyone was like, "You gotta go!" Everyone in our group, and so we were
Mm-hmm.
like, "Okay, we'll go."
Yeah.
And I mean, it was really good, but but I don't remember what I had as an entree, and the only thing that really stood out was the pork belly that they had.
Okay, so I pulled up a menu of GG's, and it's a very nice menu, by the way. They did excellent on this. It's got different locations all across, China and the Philippines and Indonesia, Singapore. And so they've got basically shows where all their flavors come from. And so if you look at the numbers, like if you want something from the Philippines, you would be looking for something with the number 6. So I would scroll through here and look for a 6 here. Let's see, we got caramelized crepes with calamansi citrus
Hold
ice
on, I'm
cream.
pulling it up. I'm pulling it up.
I struggled on that word. I the more I look at this menu, I'm gonna struggle over a lot of words.
Calabacini. It's a type of lemon. For those of y'all who don't know, I am Filipino. I have a Filipino mother. I'm half Filipino anyway. I'm half Irish, so the two mix very well and make me look like several different nationalities. Let's just say.
So when you look at the menu in the appetizers and soups on number 4, the pot stickers, it says they're called jiaozi. That's how I would say that. And they come from number 2, which is Neijing. Very interesting. It says here that Chinese believe serving jiaozi brings luck and prosperity. Very interesting.
Hmm.
My son Max would absolutely love this. Max eats nonstop pot
I've
stickers.
never seen Max eat anything besides chicken strips.
Well, you would be surprised. When we go down here for pho,
Oh
it's
yeah.
just, I would like 4 orders of pot stickers, please.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like a plate, and all of
Okay,
them can
because
eat.
I remember the last cruise I was on with you and your
Mm-hmm.
kids, and Max and Tyler both got chicken strips or pizza the entire time.
Yeah. Well, and Max will actually branch out a little bit and try things, but will only sample if they don't like it. So, it is what it is. So
Yeah.
that's fine. I do the same thing when on my first cruise. That's when I ate like alligator and like 12 other things. I was like, oh, that sounds great. And then I eat it and I'm like, that was interesting. I can't wait till my next meal. That'll be in 10 minutes. So,
I think I think you tried the escargot, and you're like, Ugh.
yeah.
And I'm sitting there just chowing down on it. He's like, Ugh.
Yeah. It was an escargot.
Ah,
But
that's escar delicious.
so on the menu here, they have slow braised pork belly, which has a caramel chill. Or is it caramel or caramel?
I'm gonna say with it like this, I'm gonna say caramel chili
Yeah,
sauce.
I agree. Caramel chili sauce with black vinegar,
I'm
pomelo,
gonna
citrus
kick
fruit,
you.
Chinese chives with gorgonzola, spiced purple onions. All right. Not a bad deal.
Yeah. Like I said, that's what I remember, and that was really good from what I remember.
I don't remember that at all.
Well, you were pretty drunk.
Yeah. I do remember us sitting down to have a meal, but it was served
We have
family style.
pictures. It is. It is served family style.
Is
Whenever
it?
you get like two appetite. Depending on how many people are there. Like if it's 2 people, you get 2 appetizers, 2 entrees. and
Yeah.
it's their family style, and you just put it on your plate. It depends on how many people are in your party, how many appetizers you get, or how many different entrees you can get.
Okay, so the next one they have Beijing style duck, which I've always really wanted to try duck. I've never really had duck before. So
Duck is really good.
So Beijing duck dates back over 1400 years. Our version is slow roasted, then flash wok fried.
Jade shrimp hargao, sometimes called a shrimp bonnet. These delicate dumplings are served with our signature Gigi sauces.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, especially the way I was reading it.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
it made me salivate a little. So continue.
we already went over Shinzao,
Yes.
Shinzawi. So chicken spring rolls, lemon marmalade, curry leaves, pink grapefruit, cilantro pearls.
Ah, that sounds good.
Except for the grapefruit.
Yeah, that would be kind of odd, but I like
Yeah.
spring rolls.
Tamarind and shrimp soup, green mango, Vietnamese mint, basil, young coconut. What's a young coconut?
I was gonna say that's my rapper name. Yo, it's young coconut.
Oh, chicken and cilantro root soup, corn, eggs, tomatoes, Chinese chives, oyster mushrooms. That sounds pretty good, actually.
It
I
does
like
sound
that.
good. It sounds like it would be a good chicken soup for the soul when you're sick.
Yeah, it does. I'm really digging it.
Yeah.
So, should we do? You want to pick one that you like? Sounds like you would like to try, or do you just want me to go on to
Let's talk
like
about the ones that we
entrees?
would like. Let's both pick one, and then we'll talk about an entree that we would like.
I think I want to try the duck. I like duck, but the fact that it comes with like mung bean is really big in the Philippines, and this isn't a Filipino dish. This is actually another one of those number twos, which is where the pot stickers come from.
Yeah.
And everything else just sounds like stuff I've had before at normal Chinese restaurants.
Yeah. So I would probably go with the spring rolls, but I don't know if these are the spring rolls that are fried or if it's the fresh ones.
They're fried.
So if they were fried, I would like them. If they were fresh, I would like yeet them off the ship. So then I would probably go with something like this, probably the chicken and cilantro root soup. We shall move on. Let's talk about these entrees.
Yes, Boko, slow braised Wagyu beef short ribs.
Okay, that's number 9.
Number 10, Singapore chili shrimp. Number 11, sweet and sour fragrant shrimp. Number 12, Kung Pao chicken. Number 13, Chairman Mao's master stock pig. Wow.
That's quite the name.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So,
See, my go-to at a Chinese restaurant is peppered beef, or
right.
pepper steak is what I like, what I've seen it called as well. Yeah, of course, I've had Kung Pao chicken and sweet and sour. I'm going to have to go with the braised Wagyu beef short ribs.
Yeah. I was looking at the same thing there. I was reading the description. It looks pretty good. It says it has watermelon radish, burdock root, wasabi pearls, and crisp potatoes, which sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
If I didn't go with that, which is probably where I would probably go, I think I think just because of the name, Chairman Mao's
Chairman Mao's master beef,
stock.
master stock pig. Yeah.
I mean, this is how master of a stock was this pig? So
No kidding.
we got clay pot seared pork. It's wok fried with scallions, sesame, fresh spinach, pea shoots, and snap peas. So
I've never heard of a pea shoot before. I've heard of bamboo shoot.
It's
but
yeah, it's just gonna be like microgreens that are pea microgreens. So
okay.
that's my guess anyways. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. but yeah, that's probably, plus, you can't go wrong. I mean, if it's something Chairman Mao would say, would eat, that's where I would go.
Of course, I don't know who Chairman Mao is, so I know who General Tsao is.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes some good chicken.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was the general of chicken. He
outdoes the colonel.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's above the colonel, so you got to respect it. So. And they do have some sides that you can get with your meal. They have blistered beans, Chinese broccoli, hot and spicy crisp potato fries, eggplant, and that's with mushroom, soy sauce, and oyster sauce, wide noodles, interesting, and then something called Hakka style noodles, and then Himalayan basmati. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, basmati.
Fried rice, and then steamed jasmine rice.
Okay, my mother has started cooking with basmati rice, making basmati rice instead of jasmine rice. And I tried to fry basmati rice, I should say. For some reason, I always call it basmati.
Yeah.
Even when I'm in an Indian restaurant, it doesn't fry well.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. I was not impressed by my fried basmati rice the other day.
Well, I would probably go with the steamed jasmine rice because Jasmine was my favorite dancer.
Well, I prefer jasmine rice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was just wrong what you said.
And then we'd go with desserts. Carnival always does up their desserts very well. Here we can get the rose creme brulee with ginger cream. That sounds pretty good. Caramelized crepes with calamansi citrus cream. Then for the last one here, it's fried wonton. So that's a pretty good one. I think I would go Filipino on this one and get the caramelized crepes.
Well, but it has ice cream, and I know your feelings on ice cream.
Well, I might have to bear it.
Okay. I think. Well, I'm gonna have to go with the caramelized crepes. Just yeah. Yeah.
So that's not a bad deal. That's a really good menu.
And it costs $13 or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick. The Gigi's Asian Kitchen is $15 per adult.
Now, one thing to remember, if you're going on the Mardi Gras, this is one of the corrections I was going to make. During its inaugural year, the Guy's Pig and Anchor, the Kachina, and Gigi's are all free for lunch and dinner. They are not charging for the dinner service during its inaugural year.
Very nice. That's actually really good. So that's probably about up for the Mardi Gras then. Probably up in June, I would imagine.
Yeah, about June, because that's when cruising started back, and that's when they started cruise. I think that's when they finally got their cruise off with the Mardi Gras.
Yeah. So I know, like, my sister before the pandemic had booked Mardi Gras for 2020, and of course that never happened. But I don't think they really had their first cruises until 2021 in June, or around that point. So yeah, Gigi's, I recommend it. It's a good eat. If I wish I could remember what I ate there, I honestly do. A fun fact about GG's is sometimes people confuse it with bonsai sushi. So,
I think you're the only one.
moving on, we're going to talk about the underutilized areas on cruise ships. One of them we've mentioned before, which is secret decks.
So I was wrong whenever I first, told you all about secret decks. Not all the ships have secret decks. The Spirit class, none of the Spirit class of ships have it, which is the Legend, the Miracle, Pride, of course, the Spirit. None of those have secret decks. There are ships with cabins that face the walkway for the secret decks, and they're a little bit more expensive. I stayed in one before. And the Conquest ships, they have a secret deck 5, but you can't get on it because it's employee only. Now, so that leaves the Breeze.
Well, the Mardi Gras also, right? The XL ships.
Did you say that? The XL ships do not have one. They've changed those. All the cabins that are in that area are all forward balcony cabins. So they've done away with the secret decks on those ships to make them balcony cabins, which thank God they changed the balcony doors from the opening to the sliding, because that would smack you in the face.
Yeah.
But the Breeze, Conquest, Dream, Ecstasy, Elation, Freedom, Glory, Horizon, Liberty, Magic, Panorama, Paradise, Radiance, Sensation, Splendor, Sunrise, Sunshine, Valor, and Vista all have secret decks. And so just remember, if they're the same class of ships, their secret decks will be the same on all their on all their sister ships. So I'm going to go over, classes of ships that are the same. Okay, so we'll start off with the Dream, the Dream class, which is the Dream, the Magic, and the Breeze. That is deck 6, deck 7, deck 9, 10, and 11, all forward. Now the 6 and 7, you can actually get to from the lanai, deck 5, by going up to the front of the boat and up the stairs, because there are stairs leading from the outside, or you can just go to deck 7 or 6 and walk straight to the front and out the doors that are there.
Now, remember, if there are doors that if you're just walking around and you see doors that doesn't say anything on them, like employees only or anything like that, they may have like a cautionary wind advisory on them, if I remember right. If you see something like that, that's the entrance to it. It doesn't say, they're not going to advertise, this is the deck, but I think there is like a little plaque or something there that just basically says, be careful, it might be windy, and go through. And so no one's going to stop you. No one cares. Fun fact with the Dream class is that's where on my wedding cruise, we actually went out there to take some deck photos. So before the ship was actually moving, we went out there and got some really good shots because there's nobody out there. So the photographer was real smart, took us out there, and we got some quick shots.
You actually remember those pictures?
I've got the pictures. I don't have the memories.
I was going to say, we had plenty to drink at your wedding.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite is deck 11, because on the Dream class, because it's the top of the ship, basically, out in front, and it's unobstructed. You can see everything, and especially at night, because it's like extremely dark. And it takes a while for your eyes to adjust, but then they adjust, and it's beautiful out there. So
it's a little like at night. It's a little like a little crazy, because
a little creepy sometimes.
Well, too. I mean, you step out there, and the one time I went, there was another couple out there. I didn't even know that they were there. It's that dark, and they were there sitting on a bench. And I was over there just enjoying myself, and I heard them say something, and I about jumped. I was like, glad I wouldn't fart or something. And it was a little windy. I remember that, but it was just kind of like, wow, like I could not see anything except for stars. So
Yeah. I sometimes expect Cthulhu to come up and some kaiju to come up and grab me out of the water, or
yeah,
and pull me into the water. It's so
and
dark.
it's dark for a reason. You see, the captain of the ship is a vampire, and they
No.
a werewolf. Sorry. Anyways, you'll mess him up if you got too much light, and he can't howl at the moon. I don't remember how it goes. You let me know.
Anyway, okay.
I'm gonna start some kind of conspiracy theory.
The conquest ships, deck 6, 7, and 10, and these are all forward decks as well. So everything, you'll just head up to the front of the boat and find the doors. And once you find the doors, head out those doors. Don't be shy. Just do it. Then you got the Ecstasy and Elation. Those are the same class of ship. And those are decks 8 and 11. And that include, and then the Freedom, deck 6, 7, and 10, which that includes the Glory as well. On the Horizon, which is the Vista class, so the Vista, Horizon, and the Panorama, it's 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, and 14.
Nice. They got a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to have fun in March.
Yeah.
The Liberty is 6, 7, 9, and 10. And since the Sensation, oh, sorry, I missed one. The Paradise is 8 and 11. Same with the Sensation. The Splendor is 5, 6, 7, and 10. The Sunrise is 5, 6, 7, 10. And the Sunshine is 5, 6, and 7. Victory is 5, 6, 7, and 10. They keep moving them around. Why? I don't understand why. I mean, is like deck 9 is deck 8, 9 the bridge? Is that why they're missing? It's got to be the bridge, yeah. But that is all. Did I do Victory or the Valor?
I think you did.
Well, the Valor is 6, 7, and 10. The Victory is 5, 6, 7, and 10. And that is all that's listed.
Very cool. Well, the secret decks are really cool because they're underutilized. You can go out there, and especially if you don't have a balcony, it's really nice if you really want to just go take in some views, but you don't want to be around a whole bunch of people like out on deck. Go to a secret deck, and you'll be able to take in all the view you want. And
I don't think very many crew goes to those decks. I don't think they do.
We took a bunch of funny photos out there. We did the whole "I'm the king of the world" and that kind of stuff. And you can kind of be silly out there. If you want to do an Instagram photo, that'd be a place to do it. You can get all dressed up and take some nice photos out on deck. That'd be the place to go. That's where I would go if you don't want a bunch of people in the background.
And you always get the hair flying in the wind, blowing in the wind pictures, because you're doing 20 knots, in the middle of the ocean. Your hair is going to fly backwards.
Yeah. And it's not 20 dawn knots. It's just 20 knots, guys. Settle down.
I don't think a lot of our listeners know who Don Knotts is.
Oh, come on!
He's been dead for 20 years. It's like asking a kid nowadays, if they like Paul Walker movies.
So yeah, I also want to talk about some other underutilized areas on the cruise ship. One of them is hit or miss. It's either going to be so utilized that you're going to just not want to go, or it's going to be so underutilized, it's ridiculous. And it just depends. I think it's just the location on the ship and how many little kids you got on the ship. Because I'm talking
Yeah.
about the warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Carnival Freedom has it in a centralized location. I believe it's on the promenade. And so it's like in a nice spot where there's a lot of traffic. That is like you get kids in there like crazy. The whole thing is kind of L shaped. And so once you get in there, it's kind of like it's a little cramped, but they had tons of really cool games. So the Dream class, they have them in the back of the ship near the restaurant, the rest of the furthest most restaurant. It was, and I think it's like up a floor or maybe down. I don't remember. Anyways,
The restaurants take up decks 2 and 3.
2 and 3. So it's either on 3 or 4, and it's right by there. There's like a hallway that kind of shoots off towards some bathrooms, and if you go that direction, and boom, you're there at the warehouse.
And side note, those bathrooms are some of the nicest bathrooms on the ship.
Yes, very much so. So, and that's one thing that we'll talk about as a topic at some point is cruise ship bathrooms. But the warehouse, those warehouses, I've seen them completely empty several times.
Yes.
And it's just so bizarre to see one like on the Freedom so packed and so active 24 hours a day, and then to see like the Dream class where I've never seen more than just a couple of people in there.
We'll see. The weird thing about the Dreamcast is also right around the corner from from the kids stuff like Circle C,
Mm-hmm.
Club Ocean, and all those. So you would think, even though they have access to an Xbox and the Club Ocean and all that stuff,
Yeah.
they would just walk around the corner and play some video games
Yeah.
or win some prizes.
Yeah. Well, it it's interesting. So, and then same thing for the Vista. So the Vista, its warehouse is on the same level that the IMAX is on, the theater. And it's in a weird spot. You kind of go up these little stairs and down into it, and it's right there. Right now, because of COVID, they have an attendant there 24/7, just kind of waiting to like wipe things down, so and clean up after you, I guess. And when we went in there, we were the only people in there. Each time that we went, there was no one else there, and it was kind of sad. One of the things that I had actually thought about, and I thought this would be a great way to get kids in there. In turn, they might spend a little bit of money here or there for prizes, was for the video games itself, not for the games that you can win prizes, but for the games that you just play video games. Maybe if you had like a $30 like thing you can get, kind of like the drink pass, but get a video game pass. Pay $30 for one person, and you can go in and play as many video games as you want with your card. It won't charge you anything extra when you swipe, unless you're doing a game like skee ball or something like that, or basketball, and then you're winning tickets to get a prize.
Yeah.
But I think that would be interesting. I actually sent that to John once, and he said he'd run it up to the Beards and see what they say. Never heard back, but the man's busy. He can only handle so many great ideas. So I might bug him, pester him with that one again at some point. So that's one underutilized spot. The other one, which is I think probably underutilized everywhere on every ship, is the library. And
Yeah.
and a lot of people be like, well, why in the heck would I go to the library when I'm on a cruise? I'm not gonna be looking up something for school. I'm not gonna go check out a book. And that's not how it works. So it's a library really in the name only. It's a nice quiet spot. They've got lots of nice seating. There's big tables.
They got
in
a
there.
wine dispensers.
Yeah, they got a lot of them have a bar that with wine dispensers, or actually a manned bar, like a bartender in there and everything. So I've some of the best drinks I've had on the ship have been in a library bar, because every bar typically has their own version of a Long Island, and theirs was particularly good. So, but they have all these books in these displays that you can open up. The all the doors are unlocked. You just open them, and you can grab whatever book you want. And you can take that book out on deck. You can read whatever it is. So if you don't want to use your e-reader, or if you've read all your books that you've brought with you, go check one of those out. There's also board games there. They've got just about every version of Monopoly or Clue or whatever. Probably, I don't know. I've seen people there playing Monopoly. It was early in the morning. I saw them, and then I checked on them about midnight. They were about halfway through, and
Monopoly ruining friendships since 1922.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe I believe it's okay, because there's no one there to really tell you not to. You could take the board game somewhere else and go play the game, as long as you return it. Don't lose all the pieces. But it's kind of like an honor system. You take a book, and if you've read a bunch of books and you don't want to haul them back home, leave some books. I've done that. I wrote a choose your own adventure cruise book. And
I don't recommend you reading it because he kills me in every part of the story.
Well, most endings end with a Tom death, but got to go sometimes. But it
like 12 different endings to your book, and I live in one.
Yeah, you just haven't chosen the right one yet. So there's actually like 29 endings in my book, and so yeah, it's on Amazon if you want to whenever check that out. Shameless plug.
It's your show.
Yeah. So but yeah, no, like I've taken that book with me on cruises just so I can leave it on the cruise. I actually left autographed like copies. So if you ever see that on a boat, feel free to take it. No one's gonna care. No one even knew it was there. So, because I left it there. But yeah, why do you look that way?
Because I die.
Yeah. Well, you die in every book I write. So
I know. You're like, I'm going to write a book and put you in it. Oh, by the way, you die.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm your best friend and you kill me and everything. What the hell?
Yeah, it happens, to the best of us. But yeah, no, I highly recommend it. Get in there, have some fun, get a board game out, go crazy. They got big tables, so you can sit a bunch of people in there, and you can play whatever game that you want to play. Got anything else?
Because I couldn't think of any other underutilized areas.
Awesome.
I think.
Yeah, so those are our recommendations for the underutilized areas on a cruise ship, places you can go to just kind of wind down, be yourself, and not have to worry about 1,000 other people being around you.
Well, I mean, the library, if it's raining outside, and you want a nice quiet place because the inside of the ship is really kicking at that point, the library bar is probably someplace you want to visit.
Yeah. I really like the library. I've gone in there several times and just sat and read a book or played on my phone, just whatever. So There's not really any lounge chairs, but they've got some pretty good armchairs in there, real comfy. So
those are really comfy, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always try to hit up the arcade at least once on the ship because they have some pretty decent games. I mean, they're not very big selection, but the ones that they have are really good.
Yes, my favorite game that they have there is the Jurassic Park game, and it's only because my wife took the perfect photo at that game. And she stands behind the glass, behind the seats, and the seats have these speakers in them. And then they have like a hand slot or something there. So it looks like the seats are terrified. It looks like 2 eyes and an open mouth, like they're screaming. And she stands back there and makes the same face, and it makes me laugh every single time. We've taken that photo on like 4 different cruises, and every time we update the photo, it's really funny. She does that one, and I go do the odd number stateroom one. I stand by the where it says odd, and it's got the point, it's got the arrow, and it's pointing at me. So that's our like go-to photos that we go do on every cruise. But yeah, so those are the underutilized areas that we could think of. We might have listeners that might know of any other underutilized areas that they might go to. Maybe there's a bar that's not so active, or maybe there's an area with few people. So hit us up on Facebook. If you can find us, if you just search for Carnival Cruising Podcastaways, that is the place that you can post that there. We'll have a post of this actual episode. You can post it there, and we'll probably mention you and talk about you when you do that. So we'll give you full credit for giving us some cool ideas. So definitely do that.
So just like our good friend Nick Jackson, who comments and has listened to all of our episodes, we thank you. We see you. We just can't comment on the page. We just can't comment back on your posts.
Yeah, it's really funny when you comment on the actual, like, the episode. For whatever reason, Facebook will not allow us to respond to those comments. So, but yeah, we definitely thank you for giving us some shout outs, and definitely letting us know how you feel about each episode. So your well wishes and everything is very nice, and it means the world to us. So thank you. Please remember, as a post New Year's gift, it would be so nice if you went down and you maybe rated our podcast, gave it 5 stars, or if you didn't think it was quite 5-star worthy, you could lie. Just say 5 stars. But
and don't ever hit the thumbs down. Just give us a thumbs up. We don't,
yeah.
If you don't like us, give us a thumbs up. If you like us, give us a thumbs up, because we want to get bigger.
Definitely make sure you subscribe to us. That tells the podcasting networks that you're listening to us, and they'll actually recommend it to other viewers that are like you, that are searching for their perfect cruise podcast.
Thank you very much for joining us on Carnival Cruising Podcastaways. And remember, anything that happens on the ship stays on YouTube. Bye.
See ya. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show where Trevor is awesome and Tom is not.
You might want to redo that.
No, that's the opening.
No, that's not what we agreed on.
Welcome to the 4th episode, everybody. I'm Trevor Shelby, the man that's been on most episodes, whereas Thomas Kennedy has not.
Listen, I had a problem last week. It wasn't my fault.
We had a good streak.
2 episodes,
2 episodes.
Yeah.